Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit before I start the other bit of the video, because it's mostly me showing you guys from an aerial point of view. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I created two really easy, in my opinion, pretty easy and attainable is the better word, pieces of Sculpey clay that you have to heat in the oven for a little bit, and then it solidifies. You can also choose to add varnish to it or like a top coat to it. I didn't do it on these ones, but in future videos I am going to apply it. But I just really like how this one looked, and I really wanted the first video that I'm presenting to you guys here on YouTube to actually be something easy and attainable. What I'm going to be making, they are propagation stations, well, more individual ones, so each one is individual and each one has a different little design motif going on. They're pretty easy, as I said before, so it should be something that you can do with either your children, with either friends, family, partners, things of that nature. And it's actually pretty challenging too. Like, you have to think about how you're squishing the clay, how you're molding the clay. And I wouldn't really think about that. I'm more into painting, so I do digital art, physical art, sewing as well. In those mediums, they're a little bit easier for me, but this really gave me a challenge. It was something that I really had to like see how many times to knead it. I don't know any, I don't have kind of like, for now, because I am willing to learn and I do want to continue using this medium. I don't know when it's ready. I don't know how many kneads it takes in order to have it ready, but you guys will see in the video as well, by practicing it and doing it, you guys will learn as well, like I did, to see kind of like when it feels right, when it feels smooth enough in order to create something on it. And I did also leave the first one that I made. It has 3 legs, and it was supposed to be just a cylindrical one, and I wanted to make it a little fun later with the textured pens that I have. But the first one, it was actually a mistake, and I had to restart it again. So I want to go ahead and leave that too, just so you guys can see, like, I make mistakes too. Like, none of us YouTubers are there just making it perfect one and done. Or if they are, they're probably like legends. But for me, in my case, I wanted to present that to you guys because you guys can see that as well, so you don't feel discouraged. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the video, and it will be voiceover Ale, so you guys will still hear me there. I also did want to include one technique. It was one that I also saw being done online, where folks would use crushed peppercorns. But in my case, I just had the already like ground up pepper. So I went ahead and used the black pepper, and that added a little bit of a texture. I've been obsessed with like terrazo, that kind of style. But this isn't truly terrazo, but it gave that illusion that it has some texture to it. So I'll be showing you guys how I did that, because that's what I did with them. And the second one actually alternated between one being plain white and one being with the salted or the peppered situation. So I'll show you guys as well too, and I'll guide you guys through what it is that I was doing. So if you like this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Let me know down below what other things you would personally make, because I have other ideas, but I want to see what you guys would make. So if you know anybody that would like this video, go ahead and send it to them. And if you enjoyed the video, subscribe. Without any further delay, please let's continue on to the voiceover. Alrighty, starting off, these are a couple of tools that were recommended. Some of the legends that actually create really great Sculpey pieces that you guys should check out is a YouTuber here named Tina Le, I believe. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, but I will leave her YouTube channel down below and also her Instagram. She's been a wonderful resource and really like lighting the fire once more with Sculpey. Previous to this, I had only done like earrings and small things like that, put them on bows or put them on if you wanted to put them as brooches, but in this case I'm using a lot of her techniques. So you guys can go ahead and check her channel out. I also did purchase this via her because this is the one that she recommended. It also, this one was a clear dowel situation where I can roll it out, an acrylic roller, which really did come in handy. The Sculpey is the original one, so this one is required to bake at 275 for 15 minutes, roughly around at 1/4 of an inch thickness or 6 millimeters. For me, I just kind of went as I go, or I did it as I went, but it wasn't really 6 millimeters, so there's that. I went a little rogue. This I've had forever, as you guys can see how old it looks. So this is a softener, but truthfully, I wouldn't use this, or it depends. Actually, if you're able to, try it out. It does make it a little more oily, as you guys can see the residue on there. So this basically cuts out the kneading. Well, not completely, because you still have to knead it. So I mean, at this point, I was literally thinking internally, like, I should have just kneaded it, because you see how it's kind of coming off my hands, kind of plastery. At that point, I could have just kneaded it. It would have taken a lot longer. But as I said, this is a learning curve and this is a learning process. So I'm trying not to be too rough on myself. So that's just what I'm working with. So I went ahead and rolled that down. Again, what was recommended was wax paper. I didn't have it, so I just used the parchment paper. But I purchased the wax paper because I could see the benefit of it, because it was really hard to like remove. I was busting the tortilla method, kind of flattening it out that way, kind of taking a feel for it, and just kind of continuously flattening it out. I was trying not to go too thin, just because I knew that if it was way too thin, it would be like dang near impossible to come out. So this is one of the methods. I didn't have any peppercorn that was, freshly ground, so I just used the fine one. And I went ahead and I kind of just blended that in. And then I did end up getting it as well and kind of crunching it in on itself. So I was able to add more of the black flakes, not flakes, but the black pepper on it. I did add a little something else that was a little weird, but it looked pretty in theory. So this is sesame seeds. So these are sesame seeds, and I went ahead and I added to it. It gave it kind of this really nice texture. So you guys will see. It looked nice, but truthfully, they got lost in the clay, like completely. So by the end of it, you can't even tell there was any in there. But I kept this in there because I'm trying to be real with you guys. And this is what I ended up doing. So I just folded it upon itself, and as you guys can see, it's gone. but even still, I wanted to give it a go. So I went ahead and I used a little bit of alcohol, rubbing alcohol, to kind of smooth out the edges. That is one trick that Miss Tina recommended. And it did actually work. I kind of it made it into like kind of a true like clay, like a pottery class situation, which is cool. And I try to save this one. This is the one that I told you guys in the beginning that I just tried to save it, but it was not working out. I tried adding a little bit more slip. I tried adding a little bit, kind of like a surgery situation, add a little bit of clay, but it was just not working out. Ultimately, I ended up like going with this one, that this is what I wanted originally. I kind of wanted it to mold on itself, kind of to work with the other side of this, which is kind of like a seashell situation. So I was like, okay, that looks more organic. And I did end up putting aluminum foil on the propagation, a little station tube. So these glass tubes, actually, like, I've been using them for a lot of different things because I've been wanting to propagate things in them. So that's where I was like, oh, okay, maybe I can like kind of make this so it's a little propagation station. I am using this plastic, and as you guys can see, it has the shape, and it's kind of organic, like seashell-y, which I really liked it. And that's why I wanted to use it. So I turned this into kind of a little stand. I go ahead and I put it in the oven, put it promptly 15 minutes, and I see it in a little bit. The other one, this one, I kind of go a little rogue on it. Like, I wasn't expecting much. I was just having fun with it at this point because the first one was the one that I ultimately wanted to create. Even though I messed up in the beginning because I was going to pull it up on the front and then do the seashell effect, but it worked out beautifully in the end. This one, however, I was just messing around with it, putting the tube in, and then because I was putting the little tube in, I was able to just remove it and just cut out like the circle, But honestly, I would really recommend maybe doing the tubular ones, like kind of elongating it and kind of going around it, just because in the end, I did end up having some cracks, and I do think it's because just it was, put in that way. But it was a lot of fun to make. So I was just mushing it. I went ahead and I added some black pepper because I wanted to do kind of a pure white pepper sort of situation. I did end up using some like etching situation, and with the etching I was able to see if it would adhere a lot better. It did and it didn't. So I'll show you guys in a bit because you guys will see. I had put it like this. This one kind of held up the best out of all of them. I actually used this glue It's a satin, not a satin, it's kind of like you put it on before the clay, right here. You put it on before the clay is baked. But I don't know, I didn't really dig it, guys. I didn't really dig it. If you guys can see how it's coming out, I was like, what on earth? Like, the heck? And I truly had to use like all like I was using so much pressure just to get some out, and it was still not the best. I don't know if I just got a bad batch, but it was not good. I still put it on though, just because I wanted to also see. So this was like full experimentation. Like, is it going to work better with like just the etching, or is it going to work better etching and this oven clay glue situation? And then the top one I just kind of put on top. So it was truly just to see how it would work. And I really like how it turned out. So it's a little like odd, asymmetrical, like not like some bits are not even, but it looked cool to me. I was like, this looks cool. And so this one was already cooked. Oh my Lord. I'm leaving that in there. This one was already baked. And I do recommend doing the aluminum foil situation, even though I did have to like pluck it out, and you guys will see. I was like, all right, time to scoop it on out. It did end up coming out, so I mean there was a price to pay, and at least it was I was able to get the hole on the bottom, and that's what I was making sure to get. I don't know why, I was just like, maybe for some reason I end up putting like water goes through it, or I was thinking like a little planter situation, but you know, I frankly don't think I'm gonna do that. I just like them with the tube inside of it. So there is that. It still has a little bit of room. It wasn't jiggling too much. Yeah, so I was trying to like hit it to see if it was okay. And once it looked all right to me, like I felt comfortable enough to go ahead and just, you know, work on the legs. We're doing the same thing. We're rolling out, we're adding pepper, and then from that point we're mixing it in amongst itself, and then we knead it a bit, and then we create little legs. So I just created 3 little legs. I wasn't too particular on it. In my head, somehow I was thinking elephant. I was like, elephant. But I ended up just like etching it a little bit, putting that glue as well to see if it would hold. And for this one, it ended up working okay. Like the legs are pretty sturdy. Also, I did put them together. So there's 1, there's 2, and then there is 3. So I just quickly put it in the oven, and then once they were done, this is the result.